Hello, everybody. As you know, recently the CDC updated their guidelines regarding COVID 19. And there are times, though, when the CDC and the state and local guidelines don't always line up with each other, and that's difficult because it basically leaves organizations and churches as well to piece together guidelines that best suit their unique circumstances. The New Beginnings team met last night and determined that at this time we ask you to continue to wear your mask while moving around the building and while in close proximity to each other, especially children who have not yet received the vaccine yet. However, masks are no longer required in worship itself. So what we're asking is you to please wear your mask again when you enter and exit the building, and just like when you're in a restaurant, when you sit down in the pew for worship, you may take your mask off. We think this really provides some relief for people. Nobody really likes wearing those things anyway, but we're trying to keep each other safe. So again, please remember to wear your mask to and from worship, and when you're in close proximity to others, particularly children who have not yet received the vaccine. We continue our philosophy of a soft opening, which allows for individuals to worship as safely as possible. We'll now have both the front and the back doors open, so you can come in either way. Several outside groups have continued to use the church and sanitize when they leave. Our youth group has been meeting most recently outdoors. But finance met in person the other day, masked, and church council is scheduled to meet this week, again, in person. My next Bible study, I'm going to finish this one out on Zoom, but the next one that I hold will be in person, outdoors in the pavilion. Lovely weather for that. I hope you can make it. We no longer wear our masks here in the office because we've both received our vaccinations, so we are relaxing and still moving very slowly. There can be no congregational singing as of yet. That'll be the next step likely in the fall if things line up for that. We ask you now to continue to maintain 6 feet of social distancing. We just think that that's wise, and to provide contact tracing information. Worship for now will continue to be about 40 minutes in duration, but I know a lot of folks have the question, long term, what's worship going to be like? When are we going to go back to 8:30 and 11? The answer to that is we might not. We have to accept that some things have changed, and worship is one of those things. So at this point, we continue to hold one service at 10:30 a.m., and my feeling is once that service reaches about 80% of its capacity, then it will be time to look at launching a second service. Full Sunday school offerings, including children's classes and all of that, will resume in the fall. I'm meeting with Pastor Narate today to discuss the handoff of these duties as June 13th is rapidly approaching, and that is her last day. We ask for your patience, and I really, really appreciate those of you who have stood by your church during what has been an unprecedented time. We can't please everybody, and we are not trying to. That is not at all the goal. When we originally decided to reopen the church for public worship, our metric was to have a full week, where our numbers here in Allegheny County, the infection rate, was less than the rest of the state. And while we did reach that metric and eventually reopen for worship, our rates are now about 1% higher than the rest of the state. So as more people have received the vaccine, the death rates are dropping significantly, and that's what concerns us the most. There have been several challenges, but so far we've lived into the original goal that I set when all of this first started, and that was to not preside over any funerals that I could have prevented. And I'd like to thank those of you who have supported this goal, not just with your words, but with your actions. Thank you very much. God bless you, and we love you.